Okay, Vroom's expectancy theory. Again, this is already 1964. But the good thing about Vroom's expectancy theory is that it was researched by a lot of individuals and social scientists in the 1990s. And you can see that Victor Vroom, is still researching in the 1990s. I don't know about him personally, I don't know him, but I can see that when I did research on the Bloom's expectancy theory, he has a research in the 1990s. So while this is originally from 1964, you can still look for it, and it's still valid as of today. Okay, so what does it do? Expectancy theory indicates uh, that there are three things that you have to understand in in the uh, in motivating individuals. Okay, let us look for that example. Expectancy theory of motivation. All right. So while we're reading through this, so this is the expectancy theory of motivation. There are three areas. Okay, so the three areas, or the three variables are expectancy, instrumentality, and valence. Okay, so the person comes in, right? Exerts the work effort, okay, to achieve task performance, to perform the task, and then realize the work related outcomes. So every step of the way, the motivation comes in when you fulfill this. So person exerts work effort. Can I achieve the desired level of task performance? So the expectancy is at the beginning. This is usually the beginning. Do I have the skills to do this work? Okay, if he answers this in a positive way, like yes, I have, then he will be motivated, and then he will be able to achieve the task performance. Okay, so when he does the task performance, the next question would be what work outcomes will be received as a result of the performance. So I have a task to do, I do it. What will happen if I do it? Okay, so usually the answer here is whether you are going to be recognized, you are going to have a reward, right? Now, of course, the question is, uh, I cannot give my employees rewards every time they do their task. Of course, these are just tasks, and these are individual, jobs, and they always do this every day. It's part of their routine. That's not what we are talking about. Of course, task performance. When you realize that when you do a good job and you achieve the work-related outcomes, then there must be something that is at the end of the tunnel, something that they expect to happen. Like it doesn't mean that you always have to give them rewards or recognition. A tap in the back is okay, man. Okay, guys, good job. So that is why this is really a sort of a feedback system. That is why it's good to always meet with your team, like even every week, because the instrumentality might be your meeting with your team, and whenever you say, in front of everybody, say, okay, guys, you're doing a great job. That's already part of the motivation for the employee, and it's not only individual; it's also the group motivation. So it's important to have that. Now, when you do your task performance and you have the instrumentality, the next question will be, how highly do I value the work outcomes? All right. So, uh, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, a person comes in. Do I have the skills to do this? Do I have the desired level of task uh, to in order to do the performance? Okay, he does it. He has it. He achieves the task performance. Then the next question is, what would be the work outcomes if I do this correctly? What would happen to me? Okay, you will be rewarded. Okay, he does the task performance, and he gets the work related outcomes. But then as he proceeds and proceeds to working and working on this, The next question will be the valence. How highly do I value the work outcomes? In the beginning, it might be okay. Like, for example, the greatest example of this is when you award your model employee, right? You have a model employee award or model employee of the month award. And this guy is always the top. So, and if you always give him, like the bust of your of your of your founder, for being the best teacher or whatever, or if you give him the plaque of appreciation, he has like 320 of them, that will not motivate him anymore, right? So you have to really plan out how you will roll out the the work outcomes that comes from this. So that's why this is not just the rewards and recognition, but you have to think about the recognition philosophy of the company. How highly do you believe in recognizing your people? It's not just the material award or recognition, but it has to be a celebration of triumph. It has to be that the whole company celebrates the triumph of the individual, even in the little things. And usually it is achieved by always having the weekly meetings, weekly, one-on-one talks with your boss. And if this is the kind of environment that you are promoting in your company, then really your people might have smaller pay compared to your competitor, but your employees will be more motivated, and they will be working harder, and they will be staying longer in the company. Okay, Locke's goal setting theory, Locke in 1990, as a goal setting theory, is an integrative model of motivation, sees goal as a key determinants of behavior. So it's like the management by objectives techniques, right? So the goal setting theory, like there have been a lot of uh, scientists, social scientists who employed the MBO techniques and the goal setting theory. All right, so it has to focus more on the so looking at the Locke's goal setting theory. Uh, the recipe for effective goal setting includes, it's shown here, the setting of challenging but attainable goals. So how does this reflect in our HR strategy? Um, in some companies that I visit, the good thing about uh, having team meetings every now and then is the setting of challenging but attainable goals. And it's not just set by the head, but it's always set by the superior together with the team. So because if it's just set by the leader and it's drummed down to the people below him or her, then it doesn't sound very good. It's like slave driving, and people are not inspired by that. But if the goals are challenging and it's set by not just the leader but the team, so it becomes a team effort, it becomes a cooperative effort. So it has to be set in a challenging way, but it has to be also attainable. In psychology, we have what we call the zone of proximal, what's that? Zone of proximal efficiency, I think. Proximal development, zone of proximal development, right? So yeah, so it has to be not within your grasp, because if it is within your grasp, it's not it's not going to inspire you. It has to be taking you out of your comfort zone, but it must also be attainable. It's like, for example, if you just graduated from college, and you say that in 2 years I'll be able to buy a Ferrari. That's challenging, but it's never attainable. So you will just end up losing yourself, and just being uh, disappointed. So setting goals that are specific and measurable. Again, these might be okay for some industries, but some industries maybe just review it. Okay, so because there's been a healthy debate about doing goals that are that are focused or lean towards numbers. If you ask the TQM people, especially uh, the practitioner of the quality management movement since the 50s and 60s, they would tell you that yes, it's really good to to have measurable goals. You have Joseph Duran saying that you cannot improve what you cannot measure, right? Those are the things. But then uh, you also have Edward Deming saying that too much insistence on numbers is not inspiring. Okay, so if you are always saying zero defect, it's okay, right? I mean, it's a battle cry. But if you are always insisting on the numbers, sometimes it's not inspiring uh, everybody. So maybe a good balance about not just the end result of numbers, but also quality. I mean, it could be many but without quality. It could be just a few clients, but few clients with quality relationship and happy clients that will eventually bring you the numbers, right? So it's not always about give me more clients, give me more clients, because at the end it may not be inspiring. So I just said that. But again, we are in nature, so sometimes we cannot quarrel with the boss. Goal commitment should be obtained. If you don't commit to the goals, then we will not put adequate effort towards reaching them. So it has to be goal committed, and you cannot just go on from week to week. Okay, we didn't achieve this. Maybe next week. No, that cannot be. Strategies to achieve this could include participation in the goal setting process. I've said that before. Extrinsic rewards, maybe salaries, bonuses, and all that. Intrinsic rewards may be just being able to go home earlier than usual, maybe 15 minutes, maybe longer longer lunch period. Not always, not every day, but for example, for this day, you can report to back to work at 1:15. You earn your additional 15 minutes, something like that. And it has to be a conscious thing. It cannot just be okay, I give this to you, blah blah, that's it. It has to be the person knows that I am doing this because I am being rewarded. If not, then you lose the meaning of the reward. Okay, support elements should be provided. Encouragement, that's a given. Knowledge of results is essential. Goals need to be quantifiable. Again, you take that with a grain of salt because of what I told you. Cognitive theories of motivation theory, there have been a lot. So just look through this. Plans, goals, luck, and Latham in 2002. Implementation and intention. There are many. Deliberative versus implementation mindsets. These are all your cognitive phenomena. It's not comprehensive. There's a lot more. Self-efficacy, Banduras, it's been there for uh, you know um, quite a long time already. Reactance theory, learn the helplessness theory, mastery beliefs, attribution, expectancy again. There's another expectancy. Values, self-concept by Marcus, possible selves, identity, self-regulation, self-control. So maybe if you have time, look into this and try to find out. Even just the summary of these can help you, right? Motivational theories in business, you know about the theory X and theory Y, right? We don't have to really focus on that here. Douglas McGregor, theory X, these are people who exert effort uh, because um, maybe they are being coerced or they are being forced. So, while theory Y enjoy work and They have control in the workplace. They're happy just by working, right? And I've always believed that theory X and Y is upside down. And I always think, even as a student before graduate school, I'm always saying that theory X and Y does not refer to the employees. It refers to the management theory applying themselves to the employees. What I'm saying is this. Of course, I don't want to uh, go against the theory of Douglas MacGregor. What I'm saying is that sometimes people who are treated as theory X people because of the management will behave as theory X employees. Theory X employees are people who are said, they dislike work, they avoid work, they dislike responsibility. They're like, people, again, no offense, people that are just working, for example, in factories, they just put on and off the switches, they do this, they do that, they don't think. But imagine that we have also people who are highly educated. They work like that. They are in Taiwan. They are being paid 10 times what we are paying our people, and they are happy. They don't consider themselves as theory X individuals. They report to work happily. They are given supervisory job. Uh, you know, uh, Over and above what they're doing, and they seem to be happy. So I believe that it's really the management treating them as theory X. I know of people who are supposed to be theory Y people, like for example, teachers of all individuals. Teachers should always be theory Y. They're highly educated. They have been trained. They believe in work responsibility. They are teaching these students to behave properly because eventually they will work. They could not dislike responsibility. They should not do that. But sometimes teachers who are being treated as theory X individuals by management, you do this, you do that, you cannot think freely for yourself, then they become theory X. Okay, they just work, and then after work they leave. I always said this. I used to work in a place where the mantra is always, kasi no work, no pay tayo eh. No work, no pay. No work, no pay. No work, no pay. So, I said, baliktarin niyo po yan. If you treat the individuals, the teachers, or the workers as no work, no pay, then they will tell you, no pay, no work. Okay? So, we have this, show. We have to report to work after our classes. Are we going to get paid here? If the answer is no, then I won't report. So see why? Why are they behaving like that? Are you saying, oh well, they are theorex people, they confirm what I'm believing? No. I think what is happening is they believe that they are theorex people because we are treating them like that. So treat your people as theory Y and they will behave like theory Y people. That's my take.